Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for having the hearing, and to the two of you, thank you for coming. I don't think any of us could respect more our men and women in uniform, and I know you work on their behalf, and we could not respect them more. We all watch us kill people remotely in Mosul and other places with people from far away commanding drones, and it's remarkable that we're able to do things like that. DOD has the capacity to turn entire countries into craters, has all kind of cyber capabilities. Again, you're here, you're the messengers. We're not speaking necessarily to you at all. How in the world is it that in 2018, with all the massive capabilities that the Pentagon has, this is the first time the Pentagon is able to conduct an audit? What is going on with the culture at the Pentagon? Mr. Norquist.
I share your concern. When this administration came in, we made starting the audit right away critical, and so in the very first year we've begun it. When I was in the...
Just what's going on with the culture? How in the world could it be that the biggest, greatest fighting entity in the world cannot audit itself until 2018? What's wrong?
So I'm speaking a little bit for those who came before me, but there is, in a sense, on some of the mission focus, as not as focused on the back office as you would see in a private company. I think that there's an essential value to the taxpayer in making sure the rest of these operations go well, and part of the messaging that the Secretary has made internally is to make sure folks understand that this is much broader than just financial management. If you want to make sure that your inventory of spare parts is correct, that your munitions is correct, this is part of what the audit covers. And part of that culture comes from change from two things. One is leadership at the top. Secretary Mattis has been, and the Deputy Secretary Shanahan have made this a top priority, and I think that's helped to turn the ship. And the other is, quite frankly, the emphasis from Congress. I have found it very helpful in meeting with folks and helping.
That's good. I don't care about Congress. The fact is, we've probably wasted hundreds of billions of dollars at the Pentagon through the years through poor management. Is that correct? Well, that'd be a low estimate, would it not?
I wouldn't be able to speak to that number, Senator.
We're getting ready. Mr. Gibson, thank you for giving credit to this committee for passing the caps. We actually had nothing to do with it. We had 4 people in a room that bid each other up. This cap deal is going to raise spending over the next 10 years by a minimum of $2 trillion. $2 trillion. $2 trillion. What we're likely to see in this omnibus that's coming before us in a few weeks is some of the most god-awful taxpayer abuses that we've ever seen, because things are being plussed up so quickly. And on the domestic side, non-defense, so much money is being pumped in that there's going to be some of the most, again, god-awful taxpayer abuses we've ever seen. Some of that could take place at the Pentagon. I mean, we're raising the cap by $80 billion. What the President requested wasn't good enough. We had to go $35 billion above that. We're doing the same thing on the domestic side, not quite to that level, but how is it possible with 6 months remaining in the year for you to possibly spend the additional cap, the additional amount of money, the $80 billion you're getting, plus I think $71 billion in OCO spending? How is it possible to spend that money wisely, Mr. Norquist?
Be happy to answer that, Senator. So when you look at the increase, you'll find that the vast majority of that occurs in procurement and R&D, which are 2- and 3-year money. And so when you're talking about buying additional munitions, buying additional planes, buying additional ships, you have time to negotiate the prices with the contractors and make the awards. The challenge is going to be an operation and maintenance account. And the difference between had we stayed under sequestration and had we, and under the number that the Congress is looking at, is in the order of about $13 billion. Now, some of that increase that the President had requested, we had plans for in the budget, and so the amount of adjustment that you're making is more modest than the larger number you're seeing, because only the O&M piece has to be executed by year end.
Well, again, we thank you and others for what you're doing. I'm happy that in 2018 we're finally going to have an audit. That's good for taxpayers. I cherish the men and women in uniform like Senator Kane's son and others who serve. I am distressed that for all these years we know there's been massive amounts of wasted money because you can't even audit. And I'm glad that you're on a path to do something good about it. I do fear, I hope we're going to have a chance, Mr. Chairman, to see this omnibus a few days in advance, because I got a feeling taxpayers are going to be shocked at what is in it with the massive increases taking place in 1 year. But thank you so much.